Welcome to Floorstocks, where community meets Wall Street. Today with some founder and CEO of Floorstocks. Today we're going beyond the headlines with Charlie Faulkner, Chief Executive Officer of EdgeMode, a company trading on OTC, marketed under the stock symbol EDGM. EdgeMode is developing an AI data center, campus, and supporting energy infrastructure designed to address one of the most important consistent facing artificial intelligence today, access to reliable power. Before we begin, an important disclosure. Floorstocks has been compensated by EdgeMode for a 60-day market awareness campaign that includes this interview. This is a sponsored content, and it provided for information purposes only. It is not investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Floorstocks does not provide price targets. Please review EdgeMode's publicly filings and conduct your own due diligence. Full compensation disclosure and information is available at floorstocks.com/disclosures. Charlie, thank you for joining us. For viewers who may not be discovering EdgeMode for the first time, let's begin with the company's mission and their opportunity using the AI infrastructure. Welcome on board.
Thank you, my pleasure. Well, I think the opportunity exists because there's such a huge demand and supply challenge right now, meaning that, and you quite rightly said it's driven by AI. So with this, overconsumption and demand for AI means that there's an increase in production of chips and servers. But in order for them to be deployed, one requires infrastructure and data centers. And really across the world, but particularly in Europe right now, the big challenge is there's greater demand for driven by AI. There's greater demand by the market than there is available supply of infrastructure. Yeah, so that's the problem we're solving. It's a simple supply and demand dynamic.
Now, you described at the time the power is like one of the biggest constraints like facing AI data centers. Like, why is access to power now more important than simply like securing land or like, constructing the facility?
Well, it's a very power-intensive process. So, for example, we have a portfolio of sites which aggregate to approximately 5 gigawatts of power in total. But, typical site would be 300 megawatts. So there's a lot of power consumption that's required to run these data centers, which are huge, multi-hectare size. Therefore, one requires reliable and high volume of power. Now, the biggest challenge globally is, and it's very pertinent again in Europe, but also in the US, is that there's a congestion of grid connectivity. There isn't enough power available from the grid for this type of consumption. So, companies like ours need to think a little bit more creatively and have found solutions where we are providing our own power. We're like a microgrid or our own power plant in a way, working independently from the national grid system to provide the available and required power one requires for these data centers.
Wow, nice. That's amazing. So EdgeMode has discussed like a substantial development pipeline in like Spain and Panama. Like, where do these projects currently stand, and what milestones should investors should they watch next?
Okay, so the key things to think about in regards to that question is EdgeMode is today developing the largest pipeline of infrastructure in Europe, bigger than anyone else. So we're developing a huge amount. The projects are, I would say, 2/3 of the way through the development process. So we build to RTB stage, and then we typically sell or partner with data center operators. And the key things you need are land, power, fiber connectivity, and the permits, the environmental permits and construction permits that you need from local government. So we're working our way through those phases really quickly. We're really well supported by local government, especially in Spain. And we've got some great relationships at national level actually as well in Panama. So, the ambition for the business is we complete all of our development today, which is in total over 5 gigawatts of capacity, and that includes 2 sites in Panama. We get these sites to the point of completion in about 2 years' time, perhaps sooner. So, relatively speaking, that's very fast, and that's why we're making great progress on the business development side as well. So not only are we developing the largest campuses, the largest data center infrastructure in the world, we've now secured term sheets from a number of potential buyers who are interested in multiple sites. So these have all been filed. So, I would encourage any interested listener, investor, viewer to take a look at our filings. You'll see some interesting stuff recently. We filed term sheets with buyers for up to 4 sites. And, that's a lot of enterprise value in negotiation right now.
Nice. So you speak on behalf of that. Like, who are the intended buyers for these facilities? Are they like hyperscalers or cloud providers, or like AI companies, or other
Yeah.
infrastructure operators? Is that like
Yeah,
what?
all of the above. You've actually summarised it very well. So hyperscalers would be the typical end client. You could also have like a neo cloud business who are very focused, obviously, in providing cloud computing, or a data center operator who would essentially then have any one of those other clients as their tenant. So it depends on how far down the supply chain we sell into. But yeah, hyperscalers, cloud compute, or data center operators who work with those businesses. And the term sheets that I described, just referenced, we've seen them from data center operators. So, very well established international businesses with existing tenants or clients who are typically hyperscalers. These operators, such as the demand, they need to work with companies like EdgeMode to find the next site that they can develop to provide capacity to their clients for.
Wow, nice. That's amazing. Like, what do you see some like the greatest risks? From let's say some of these data centers. Like, what do you see? For long term for this. Just kind of give me your idea of your vision of where you see it.
Okay, well, I mean, I suppose there's 2 questions there. In terms of the risks or challenges, I think the area which there is most friction globally is this government or sort of regional government friction that you can have. You've seen it a lot in the US where they're writing bills now to
Yeah.
prevent any new construction of data centers. And I think it happens at state level or perhaps lower than that. Now, that thankfully, given our locations, we're not exposed to that risk, and we work very hard to actually do it differently to build good relationships, human relationships with the politicians and the public sector in Spain and Panama. So rather than being friction, there's support and there's bigger benefits. But it's a real thing. It's a challenge. You got to take it seriously. In terms of the vision, more positively, for us, it's just super aggressive growth. We think the sector we're in is a mega trend, hot sector. We know that. Now, I don't think this is disappearing soon, because if you expect AI to grow, meaning more investment, greater adoption, greater utility in all of our working lives, which I think everyone does, then that's going to require a lot more infrastructure to be provided, and then the finance exists. So,
Right.
the bottleneck is companies like us needing to provide that. So we need to be super aggressive and just do as much as we can, as quick as we can, meaning develop more sites, open more territories, and sign more clients. So, the opportunity is just really quick, aggressive growth. We've got multiple new territories. We've spoken about Spain and Panama. We're pursuing others, namely Portugal, potentially Morocco, and also more in Latin America, as we'll be in Santiago, Chile in October, meeting the government there. So, yeah, just be as big and as quick as we can.
So I didn't know that Chile actually has they were growing as big. I mean, is it what advantages do they have? I mean, I think is it something just bigger than Spain as far as the growth
Yeah,
rate? Or?
I think that we've got an advantage in some of these territories because the team that we have worked in them for over 25 years. So Spain and Latin America. So we've developed great relationships, and that stretches across, the public sector. I've spoken about that, how why that's important. The capital, and commercial areas as well. So we had a head start. We've got some good opportunities that we, are privy to in Billy and other countries. Culturally, they are very advanced. There's a lot of tech and innovation there. They're quite, actually, very European, even Northern European, funnily enough, in their attitude and business mentality. So it's just been a good fit. I think other countries which are US dollar denominated in that region could be quite interesting too. Maybe Ecuador. Right. I mean, Panama already is. So yeah, we're constantly assessing. Any one time, our team are typically looking at 30 different land opportunities across the world for potential projects that we can develop. Now, not all of them will be suitable. Many of them won't, but some of them are. So, we're always assessing. We're always interested, and we're always looking to grow.
What do you need? Like, let's say we have this conversation next year. Like, what would you have as a catalyst for you would consider as an accomplishment for Edge? If we look back at 1 year.
Yeah, I think we've got it's closing some deals. So we've only been developing these sites since the JV went live. In essence, in January. In short time, we've expanded the portfolio, and we've collected now term sheets that we're working through to close, contracts on the sites. So we've moved really quickly, and I'm delighted with that progress. I think to really sort of continue that momentum and to get to maybe this time next year, I'd be delighted with obviously some secured deals. So some of these diligence and term sheet stuff moving into final contract and closing. So we'll definitely have. I'll be very, very confident we'll have multiple deals in place on that side. And then, just further growth. It'd be great to be active in another territory, and we've already got a short list of them. So it's just about executing now. So just continue executing. Really, we have the plan, we have the vision. We have something called Vision 2035 in our business, which outlines what we do for the next 10 years and why we're going to do that. I think we're ahead of where we thought we would be. But it's, we have a very simple growth map, and it's just about execution now.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, Charlie, I want to thank you for joining us and giving the shareholders, opportunity to actually understand your company as well, and the Floorstocks community a clear understanding of EdgeMode's strategy, its development pipelines, the execution milestones, and things that investors should be watching for. So for everyone watching, EdgeMode trades on OTC markets under the ticker symbol EDGM. The opportunities around the AI infrastructure may be very significant, but progress to be measured through execution, including permitting customers, customer commitments to construction, and ultimately the going into the revenue stage mode. So, we're speaking on this from like a year now. So, I want to see those things definitely come to fruition.
You will. Well, thank you for your time. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. So before we close, a reminder that Floorstocks has been compensated by EdgeMode for its awareness campaign and media campaign that includes in this interview. This is sponsored content, not investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell EdgeMode or any other security. Please review the company's public filings, understand at the risk, and conduct your own due diligence. Full compensation disclosure is available at floorstocks.com/disclosures. So, Charlie, we'll continue to follow up on EdgeMode's progress, and we look forward to having you back on and actually speaking with you again, and look forward to success.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you again. Cheers.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.